Hi everyone, Brad here. I just wanted to share something with us today. Now, what I'm going to share with you is may come across as a very different way of thinking about problem solving and the way that you're used to thinking about it. But I offer this because it really works and it may produce miraculous results in your life. Now, I know as soon as I say something like miraculous results in your life, that one of the first things that comes up for us, if we are willing to be honest with ourselves, is cynicism. And none of us like to look cynical. So we're pretty much apt to lie to ourselves that we have a cynical view about life when it comes to miracles. But really, um, miracles, I would say, are our natural state. And when they're not happening, something other than our natural state is happening. So just consider that for a moment, okay? Now, there's a lesson in A Course in Miracles that says forgiveness offers everything I want. And that's a pretty bold statement. And I certainly don't ask people to believe that. But I do ask that you consider it for what may be able to unfold from your willingness to consider it. Now, to be able to consider that statement, we have to deal with a false definition that you and I have about the word forgiveness. Okay, see, mostly what you and I think about forgiveness is that we have to pardon somebody for what they did wrong, right? We have to pardon someone for what they did wrong. And then if you take that a little bit further, especially if it's something you're really pissed off about, then you're going to be mad. They get off the hook and da 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 da, and it's not right, and it wasn't right when it happened, and all of that. Now, just consider the possibility that all those thoughts that I just said about how they're wrong and they get off the hook and they get away with it and it's not right and they'll just get away with it again, that all of those thoughts actually keep you in a place of stuckness from having and enjoying the things that you want for yourself and your life. But you don't believe that. What you think is those things aren't happening because of all these people out here that aren't doing it right. Which then you think if you forgive, they get away with it. Well, first of all, I'll give you a hard lesson about that. They've already gotten away with it. And whether they have or they haven't is not any of your business anyway. See, this is a hard lesson to get. And it's also why forgiveness is the last place that we look. See, I'm not asking you to consider forgiveness as the process you go through from where you pardon somebody for what it is that you've judged them for. And I was real sneaky and direct about how I said that. I'm not asking you to consider that forgiveness is a process that you go through of pardoning people for what you think they did wrong and for what you have judged them for. Now, I understand we all get together in these little groups and we all get together in our psychological and philosophical and religious and moralistic systems, and we all agree about what we think is right and wrong. And yeah, but it really is wrong, Brad. And yeah, they really did do this and da 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 da. All I'm asking you to consider is forgiveness is rather a process from where you get disconnected from the negative, judgmental, condemning thoughts that you have about yourself and the world, which block you from living true happiness, true joy, and the joyful manifestations that come out of living in that state, which are all in your favor. That's what forgiveness really is. And for you to even approach the willingness that it would take to learn that, you first have to see that that's in your favor to do so. But as long as you believe that you staying over on the other side and standing out here preaching about what's wrong in the world is going to deliver unto you some payoff, until you can see that that doesn't work, you won't even attempt it. And we've all heard the statement, and most of us have preached it at one time or another, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? But we don't ever consider that for ourselves. No, we like to pull that statement out when we're ready to hit someone else over the head with it, someone who needs to change, in our opinion. When I see you, which is here, happening here. When I see you here as something less than perfection, I experience a disconnection. It's called anger or frustration. It's like I want you to be different. And then what I do is I try to deny and suppress what I'm feeling. And because you are my object of attention, I think that what I am feeling is caused by you. That is not true. And it's never going to be true. It's never been true for anyone. And it's never going to be true for anyone. And it doesn't matter how we justify it. How many people we get to agree with us that we're right for feeling the anger that we feel. If you had been through that, you would feel angry too. See, you can do that. And you've been doing that. We've all been doing that. And it's not correct. The internal emotions that I feel about life are an effect. And they are caused by the beliefs, the philosophies, the systems of morality that I hold about what should and shouldn't be about life. Another way to say that is when life doesn't match the goals I am holding about life and how it should be, when you don't match the goal that I hold that life should be, I experience the negative emotion from that not matching up. Where is the problem? Is it you? Or is it I'm holding on to an unnecessary goal that actually I would be better off if I didn't hold that? You know why? Because life doesn't match up to all the goals that we hold. And we're out here trying to get each other to change. We're out here preaching about that. Well, here's how people should act, and they're not doing it, and blah, blah, blah. No, they're not doing it. Haven't you noticed? And we've got some really good ones going on. People should be kind. People should be respectful. People should be considerate of one another. All very reasonable, right? Until you don't get what you want, and then they're not considerate. People are not able to do that. You know why? Because they're believing their thoughts and they're following them. So are you going to live the rest of your life waiting for them to get clear and condemning them because they're not, in your opinion, suffering yourself all of the anger and frustration that goes along with that? Or are you willing to practice a process which would release you from believing anything in this world should be different until it is? And some of you are now seeing, oh yeah, acceptance. You know, when I'm in acceptance, I do feel better. But you can't just say, oh, acceptance, I think I'll turn it on now. And then while you try and deny and suppress everything that you hate in life. You see, none of us want to admit that we have hatred. None of us want to admit that. And we all have it. So because we can't admit to it, we can't let it up to the surface where we can then examine it. So we're doomed to repeat it. But here's how we repeat it. We try to not see it in ourselves, so we deny and suppress it. Well, where do you think it goes? It goes into our mind's judgment of others. So the sins that we think that we see in others are the ones that are happening inside of ourselves. And because we condemn them there, we condemn them here. So nobody can get free of them. Forgiveness is a process of reevaluating all of that and canceling our goals that you or I ever should have been different or better than we were able to be at any other time in our life. You were never supposed to be better than you were at any given moment. If you take anything that you have condemned yourself for, you weren't supposed to know better until you did. And if you don't do that work, you're going to continue to go around teaching people, teaching you that life was supposed to be different. And you're going to continue to wage these politically correct wars on the world and hoping that everybody will get their shit together so that you can feel better. And you'll continue to lie to yourself about that that's what you're really up to. And so you will continue to experience the limited results rather than the joyful results that you were meant for when you showed up here on planet Earth. We're running this game all the time. And where we're running it is on ourselves and each other, the people that we claim to care about. We're running it on them. It's like, I don't want you to be happy. I want you to be the person that I think that you should be. The minute that you violate my belief system, the things that I think are right and wrong, even though that's your path to unfold, and as it unfolds for you and you learn from that and you make progress, I should be happy for you. I don't want you to engage in it. No, I want you to be perfectly loyal to all of the things that I think are right and wrong. That is not love. And I love you. Blah, blah, blah. That's not love. And so forgiveness, in its truest sense, is simply the process that I go through of evaluating all of the things that I try to hold the world to and canceling my goals and demands that I don't see as demands, and expectations and insistences, if that's a word, that you be anything other than what you are. And when I release what seems to be I release you from that, I'm the one who gets released from it. It doesn't have anything to do with me pardoning you, which makes me the bigger person. See, that's the social media's version of forgiveness. I forgive you. I forgave them. No, you didn't, you arrogant ego. That version of forgiveness is where I hold on to my condemnation and I continue to lie to myself that you did it to me. And I try to pretend and put on a face of how I overcame that when I really didn't. That's not forgiveness. That's not true forgiveness. That's an effort to pardon someone while you hold on to the very thing that caused you the pain to begin with, which is your perception about it. So the process of true forgiveness, of Aramaic forgiveness, the forgiveness of the original teachings of the original masters, the one that some of you claim to follow, Yeshua. His name wasn't Jesus, by the way. You see, you got to get willing to get honest about this. And to get honest about it, you have to be willing to call out all of your mythologies. You have to be willing to see that they don't work. And that's why this is so difficult for some people. Because you want to hold on to a fantasy that you've been saved. No. I went to my church and they dunked me under the water and we said a prayer and I'm saved. No, you're not. If you're lying to yourself about the resentment that you still hold on to that one person in your life, you're not saved from that. You're hiding that in a dark corner of your mind. This video is about diving right into that, bringing that resentment right up to the surface and getting free from it. Not a fake sort of salvation where you think some savior came and was slaughtered by a loving God because of your errors. That is a complete mythology, and he taught that wasn't so. And the smallness of the world and the world's religions that dwindle itself down to reduce him to nothing. Now you can't even follow his teachings. It's not what he said. When he said, I am the light and the way, he didn't mean me as a person. It means that which I am before I judged myself to be something other is the light and the way. And you are that. You can't know that until you start doing some of this work. But you don't want to do that. You want to bitch about the world and try to get the world to change again. That's social mediaism. It doesn't work. You're a liar. And to the one who's willing to call themselves out for being a liar, you're the one who has a chance. You're the one who has a real chance. Because the day that you do that is a divine day. That's the day all of heaven stops to listen. How can we help this one? It's profound. It's more powerful than all the preachers. And you watch the miracles begin to unfold to come in to support your life. And when you cancel your goal for your families to change, cancel your goal for your spouse to be different, cancel your goal for your boss to be different. And you sit in the peace that comes over you when you give those things up, and you wait in the silence and in the release. That's all a release of all that resistance. Everything that you have dreamed about that could be possible for your life begins to grow like a field of flowers. Miracles begin to happen. They've been waiting for you all along. But the complaints that we have about life block us from that. And forgiveness, true forgiveness, is the process that we go through of being able to release those blocks. And that's why when A Course in Miracles says forgiveness offers everything I want as a lesson, it means it. Forgiveness clears out the blocks that keep miracles from unfolding for me 24/7. And I understand there are some ways that you feel that you've been hurt, that you're just not willing to consider any possibility of letting them go because you don't know how. That's understandable. Part of this message is that you don't have to know how. You just have to be willing to learn, to be shown. If you knew how, you wouldn't need the miracle to release you, to help release you from that. So I hope that this has brought some stuff up for you. Some of the things, I hope that you see some of the things that you're holding on to with a willingness to, and a desire being birthed inside of you to be without those things. It's like, my complaints about the world, what if my complaints about the world, the ones that just replay in my head all the time, what if that's all that's ever been blocking me? But because the world is my object of attention, I think it's the world. That's all that's going on here, folks. That's all that's ever going on with any of us. Democrats, it's not the Republicans. Republicans, it's not the Democrats. It's yourself, not your real self. Your real self is already beyond all of this. But until you catch up with that, you're going to suffer out of that, and you're going to believe that dream of how they're wrong. And you're going to be out here trying to get people to agree with you, because certainly if somebody agrees with you, it feels better than just being out there on the ragged edge by yourself with all that crap. But eventually their agreement isn't even enough. I work with people every day. They want agreement for their stories. And for me, it's, I'm not interested in doing that. I work every day to release myself from it. Why would I want to be drawn in to yours? Your story about what's wrong, but you don't understand what's wrong. But here's what's wrong. No, you don't understand. Here's what happened. No, you don't understand. I hear it over and over and over again. And I do understand. I understand you're not going to get anywhere that way, because I never did. And when I found that the truth was that the only thing that was needed to change was between my ears about what's out there, that out there didn't need to change, that was a beautiful day, and also a very difficult one. Because it means that I'm always the one who's out of order. But that's not a crime. That's not a sin. But to not see that, to not try to participate in my own corrective process, is to be out of alignment with myself. And it's a lonely path sometimes, let me tell you that. Because some of the things that you're going to need to learn, nobody will agree with you. No one. They don't want that. People want to be right about what they think. But the Course told me that if I was wrong about what I think is so bad, that it would be a relief for me to find that out. And I can hear that. And it's right. So even though it seems fearful to find out that I'm wrong, when I get released from that which I was wrong about, I experience relief. So I only gain from it. But some of us don't know how to shut up long enough to consider how to do it. We just keep telling that story. Yeah, but you don't understand. No, but here's why. You have to be willing to shut up. You have to be trainable and coachable. And to do that, you have to be motivated. This has to be something that you see you're going to benefit from. So that's what these lessons help us do. Forgiveness offers everything I want. You see, forgiveness, another way to say it is letting go of what I think I want actually offers me what I really want. That's another way to say the lesson. Canceling my goal for what I think I want the world to be actually gives me what I really want. So you see how it's hard to see that? Why would you let go or try to cancel your goal for something that you think you want when you think you want it? You believe it. Not only do you believe it, but you are that it is. You have to do that a few times for it to not work enough for you to go, if that doesn't work, what will work? But if you're willing to really want to know the truth, and it's not something that you already know, you have to give up what you think you know in order to have this. If you're willing for that, your life is going to become miraculous. And you will be one in the world who is count-onable. You can be counted on for truth and correctness instead of some social media philosophy person, ranter, preacher. And you have to get sort of acquainted with the sickness that is of being on social media, ranting and preaching philosophies and posting all the fluffy stuff every day in the hopes that the bad ones in your head will get it. The ones that you say you don't have any power over, but yet you continue to try to change them every day. And how you lie to yourself about that. I talk to people who do that, and they say, yeah, but if one person learns, that's what you hang on to. How's that little thread feel inside of you if you tell the truth about it? And see, this video is an opportunity for you to tell the truth about that, because I don't care. You see, I'm tired. I'm tired of being dragged into it. But when you answer that question, then you get an opportunity for something different. I'm interested in your happiness. Of course I am. I'm interested in my own. But I'm not interested in another lie that we tell ourselves that, all will be well if only. That's not true. So, if anybody is interested in learning the mechanics of the forgiveness process in a reliable way of practicing that, because it takes some practice to learn it. Forgiveness is not something that you just theorize and then oh, I understand that, boom. And anybody who's tried to practice it knows that. And if you think that you've pardoned someone, but you still think what they did was, so wrong, and especially if there's any residual, however minimized, negative emotion around it, then you really haven't done it. And if you want to be free of that, and you want to test what I'm talking about and see if miracles don't unfold for you out of you doing that process, if you want that, contact me. I'm happy to share what I've learned with anyone who wants to learn it, but only so that you can learn it for yourself. I don't necessarily benefit if you learn forgiveness. I benefit when I practice releasing my goal that you should learn it. You see, that's confusion for me. That's misidentification for me. I am not something that is subject to you learning or not learning. That's not what I am. I am beyond that. And when I don't know that, it's because I'm in a dream of believing something that's a nightmare for me. And then out of that nightmare, I am assigning roles and goals for you to fulfill and how I want you to change. That's a nightmare. And it's really a nightmare whenever I impose that on people without realizing what's going on. But to experience freedom from that, and then to be able to investigate what is here prior to that as what I am and what have always been, is a profound discovery. It's the end of all pathways, which is very fearful for the ego. That's why people love their pathways. They're going to get there one day, but they never do. You can't get to what you already are. You stop trying to get there, you have an opportunity to realize I am that. But what is that? I won't give you that answer because you must discover that for yourself. So I don't want to go any further. So anyway, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that it sparked something for someone. It's definitely a worthy use of our time, don't you think? To undo all of the systems of belief that have gotten us into the mess that we're in, because that's what's gotten us here. You think you're going to change people. You're never going to change people. Can you change what you believe about them? Can that be changed? And when that is not there, what happens in your life? Miraculous things happen in your life. Everything that you want. Thank you for watching.